Hey, so I wanted to walk through a case study on how we're deploying processes into organizations faster than ever before using Puzzle. So the use case here is that I want to deploy a customer support process here in this organization. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use templates. And this is a template that I have already built out. I call it the customer support process skeleton. And the reason why these templates are valuable is because really like the fundamental components of a customer support process, they're not all that different across operations. Of course, they can grow to be very, very customized. But what we see agencies doing, like I'm doing, is saving the bare bones processes that they consistently implement into organizations. So the way that you get access to templates within Puzzle, you just click on this template button. I'm going to say use template. What that's going to do is it's going to deploy the template that I had saved. And you can see that it has two processes within here. It has phone support and it has, message or email based support. And the benefit of this is I don't have to recreate the wheel every time to get at least the structure of how basic support processes work. And so right now we're actually not supporting phone support. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete those parts of the process. And I'm going to go ahead and just shrink this process to match the size of this. You'll see that in the section, I already have all of the customer support KPIs laid out that any support operation would want to track, as well as a list of all of the custom or customer support reports that you would potentially want to monitor how your customer support operation is going. And so, as well as customer support channels and some recommendations on the best tech tools. This is my way of getting my brain into a software tool where any of my agency team members can deploy this process and have a conversation with our client very easily about how they want to expand this process and customize it to their specific operation, but having all of the best practices right in front of you in this sidebar. And so this is really like the true differentiator between Puzzle and all of the other documentation tools is that your technical documentation and the context with which a process is related to lives right here in the same tool. You do not have to flip over to Google Drive. You do not have to flip over to Notion to get your written documentation. And so it truly becomes your component library for your business operations, where you can save all of your best practices across processes that you commonly implement for your clients. I mean, agencies are having a really good time building out their repository. So let's keep going. So I'm going to go ahead and just move this process over to the right area here. So this process is related to, customer onboarding in a way. So you can see that the way that this process works is, right here I have this step in Intercom where the user will inevitably submit support requests. And this is a product operation. And I have my go-to step, which will pop over right to our support customer part. All right. So the next step here is like, okay, what tool are we using in this process? And the cool thing about Puzzle is that you can highlight this entire process and bulk edit the type of tool that you use. So I'm going to go ahead and just assign Intercom because this is the ticketing system that we use. And you can see, bam, it already looks much like a custom process for my operation. And it has the basic routing here, right? So, when a support request comes in via email, we're going to determine the category of the support request, whether it's a billing issue, a technical issue, or a sales request. And I have this very simple branch based on whether it's a simple ticket or a complex ticket, where you would escalate if it's complex and you can just respond to the ticket if it's simple. But in fact, I'm going to make this more granular here. So we're actually going to go ahead and delete these these connectors here, and I'm going to save these components for later because we'll probably get to them. But I want to branch this out based on the type of ticket, right? So if it's a billing issue, we'll go one direction. If it's a tech issue, we'll go another direction, sales. And there's another one that I want to add here. This one will be our feature request. There. So if it's a feature request, right, we want to take a different route here, right? So maybe we have some different canned answer that we use. We're actually going to connect this here, and we're going to delete this. There we go. Maybe there's a different canned response that you use for feature requests versus, sales requests and billing, obviously. And you can just continue to build out your knowledge base for how tickets come in and how they're responded very easily within Puzzle. And so for user feature requests, we actually have a macro within Intercom that we use to respond to feature requests. So I'm going to go ahead and get that and just place it in this card. And the reason why I'm doing this documentation and why agencies should do this documentation too is because if at any time your client reaches back out to you to ask a question about how to resolve a support request that comes in when a user makes a feature request, you can very easily go to this documentation and show them the exact snippet that they need to use in this process within the context of all of the other routes that it could potentially take. It's really a game changer. And so I ran into this use case as I was working with building out this customer support process. And I wanted to film this video just to show you how easy it is that you can build out your repository of process and deploy these processes across many workspaces with your clients. It's literally transferring all of the knowledge in your brain in a visual way in just a click to get your clients on board and bought in on the processes that you implement. Because that's ultimately the purpose of any diagram, is to get buy-in for your client to understand exactly how the processes work that you're building them. It helps substantiate the value that you create for them and ultimately could lead to more upsells and ongoing support. All right, so let me go ahead and post our response here. All right, so I got my message here, right? And it says, great idea. Thank you for submitting this as a feature request. I've just submitted this information to our product team. Keep those ideas flowing. If you have any additional feature requests, we're all ears. Until then, happy building. So thanks for tuning in. I just wanted to give you an idea about how agencies and freelancers are using Puzzle to build a visual knowledge base that they can deploy across one or many client operations. It's really a cheat code. So if you haven't checked out Puzzle, go ahead and sign up for a free trial on our website. Thank you.